What's up everybody, and welcome back. If you saw my last video, you know I was talking about mangas being essentially very cliche and how that's not a bad thing if there's something that makes it special or fun. And this is a whole lot of fun so far, but you've 100% seen something like this before. But this manga wants you to say I'm better. That's the name of the manga, and it's being made by Izumi Uni. There's one translated chapter so far, but there are 5 raw chapters. It's a romance comedy school life about first-year high schoolers at a premier art high school who claim to be rivals. So the story starts with Eiji, who's describing his ideal girlfriend who is cute, innocent, totally in love with him, smells nice, sometimes scolds him, has a mole on her chest, and has never had a boyfriend. Which, alright, seems okay, but he's apparently saying it out loud, talking to himself, until Riona Toda walks in. She's obviously a bit weirded out and asks what he's doing, and he says he's meditating. Why? Because he wants to become a god tier artist so that he can become crazy popular, which apparently he's been saying the same since middle school, so at least he's consistent. But with Toda hearing that and him saying it, all of it made him gloomy. So Toda says his face is presentable, which makes him super happy, and Toda blushes very hard. It's obvious she has feelings for him, and it only gets more clear during class. Eiji won't finish his drawing and worries he won't become a god tier artist, and remembers the time he was young and was considered a genius, at least to the other kids around him. So to get out of his emotional slump, he looks to Toda because she's worse at drawing than him. To Toda, he always stares at her, and she doesn't know if it's cause he thinks her drawings are good or if it's cause he likes her, which the thought it could be makes her heart race, which isn't surprising because after class Eiji bumps Toda's chair, knocking over her sketchbook, and a drawing of him falls out, which seems fine until he picks up the sketchbook and more drawings of him fall out, which obviously makes him freak out and figure out that Toda's in love with him. Toda runs in to grab her sketchbook, and fortunately Eiji put it back in time and gets a flash as a reward, but while staring at Toda, his heart starts racing as he realizes that she's actually the ideal girlfriend type he described, down to the mole he just now noticed. Toda finally asks what he's looking at and why he's always looking at her, which makes me love her. But Eiji says, don't make me say it, leading Toda to reveal she's prepared herself for what she thinks this confession will be while having hard eyes. But poor Toda, cause Eiji actually tells the truth and says looking at her makes him feel like he can do his best when everyone else is better than him. Obviously, Toda gets upset cause it went from being this is a confession to you suck, and Eiji immediately has to try to clean it up and says he didn't mean it like that, trying to say she fires him up before showing Toda a photo of one of her drawings of him that he took a picture of and put as his phone screen. So now Toda is more upset and embarrassed and says that he sucks at drawing just as a get back, which leads Eiji to saying there's another condition for his ideal girlfriend, which is she has to be better at drawing than him, which leads Toda to saying she'll only date a god tier artist and not a lousy one like him. So now they're both trying to get better than the other, I guess, to date each other, maybe? That part I haven't figured out yet. I don't know if they're saying they'll start dating if this happens, or they'll never date, especially since Toda is already in love with him. So she wants to date him. Eiji may have fallen in love with her? I'm not sure. Regardless, I love this. I think it's fantastic and already hilarious and a lot of fun. I'll be honest though, I have no expectations for this manga other than being complete fun and enjoyment. Will they end up together? Of course, if this goes on long enough to get a conclusion, but if it does, they definitely will. But for a story like this, that's not the fun part. This isn't a slice of life realistic romance where the two coming together, falling in love, and all that is the point. The point of this is the nonsense fun time in between. And this first chapter has already showed me this is going to be a fun time, especially with how dumb-faced Eiji has been drawn in, which I absolutely love. But don't read this for anything deep. deep. Don't expect this to be anything deep. Just enjoy it for the pure silliness that it is. Now, there is one deepish thing that I like that's not really deep, but it's the fact that his ideal girl was right in his face and he never noticed until he found out she had feelings for him, which may not be deep, but for guys can be pretty realistic because we can be pretty oblivious at times. But I just think that's a hilarious point. AG so far is fun, but his stubbornness may at times become annoying throughout this. I'm not sure yet, but not being able to take an insult from Tota, basically saying she's forbidden from dating you cause of it, is really thick-headed and stupid, and I'm worried that may just be a continuing character trait of his, which may become annoying, especially because Tota seems fantastic. She's everything he wants and is obsessed with him. There's seriously nothing more to ask for, so I'm hoping he doesn't do her dirty or just essentially tease her, but Tota is fantastic, and the rivals/lovers story may be very fun. It certainly seems like it will be. The only fear about this I have is that chapter 1 was translated 30 days ago as of recording this, but there's 5 raw chapters. I'm concerned the translation may be slow or extremely sporadic, or no group is really going to pick it up. I hope none of those becomes the case, but it's a possibility. Either way, if this looks interesting to you, check it out and like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you want more recommendations, check out the Why You Should playlist linked below along with the merch. Other than that, I'll see all of you in the next one.